Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Widgets and Wonders. This is my show about great products from small companies. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take a look at Knucklebones Miniatures. This is Matt So Far's really cool hashtag 28 / Rogue Trader inspired 3D sculpting like business that he's running. And it's being done a lot like most 3D sculpting things as a Patreon. Now, normally I wouldn't, because this is a weird one for me. It's a physical product, but it's a physical product you download and print yourself for people who are 3D printer enthusiasts. And I am like not a 3D printer person. I don't have access to one except for when Owen's kind enough to print something for me. And I don't know anything about them. Or sorry, Mike. Actually, Mike's printed some stuff for me in the past. These are the guys who actually have one and use one. But Matt was nice enough. I loved his miniatures, and I was gonna get Owen to print them And then Matt was just like, "Hey, do you just want me to print these on my printer for you? Like, you've been a patron for 2 or 3 months or whatever, and you haven't even downloaded anything." And I said, "Of course, that would be amazing. That'd be super cool." And so he printed a few for me, and then shipped them to me, and that way I could show them off. So I joined his Patreon a few months ago, and then just kind of like didn't do anything because I'm the worst. But I love these miniatures, and what caught my eye originally was when I was doing the Logan's World stuff for Rogue Stars and Rogue Trader, or not Rogue Stars, Stargrave and Rogue Trader. He had sculpted some sort of inspired by the art in Rogue Trader miniatures, and he did the water cellar, which is an illustration from the back of the Rogue Trader book, where there's a water cell in these 2 guards. He did such an amazing job of them. I didn't even know how I was going to get them made, but I just backed his Patreon and have been like a backer ever since. So this is a first for me. I'm going to link it below. I would love to hear from you guys more of these like 28 inspired or like Rogue Trader inspired. These are just like unique things I can check out because there's so many of them out there, and there's so many people being so creative on these 3D like sculpting programs. It's really hard to see them all and keep track of them all. So Matt has done just a stellar job of capturing like that essence of like some of this 28 stuff. He's doing some of that sort of like black powder inspired 28 stuff, dark 28 stuff too, which he sent me some like casts for. He kind of sent me like the ones that I was really excited about, and then a grab bag of other things. I'm gonna show you that stuff as well. But I built the stuff that was sort of Rogue Trader inspired and kind of like that dark like 28 punk inspired, and we'll take a look at the other stuff too. So all right, let's take a look at this stuff from Knucklebones Miniatures, Matt So Far's very cool 3D sculpting business, which I'll of course link below. Here we have some of these incredible sculpts from Knucklebones Miniatures. And I'm going to start off with the ones that I actually was like drawn to initially. And it's these 3 guys. It's the water cellar and his 2 guards. Now this is an iconic piece by Games Workshop from the back of the Rogue Trader book. And he's basically taken a black and white line art drawing and done miniatures for them. And I absolutely love this. This is the kind of stuff I want for my ruffians on Logan's World, and this is what I'm going to use for my ruffians on Logan's World. Now, I'm going to preface everything about these miniatures by saying I have no idea what they were printed on. I have no idea what the text settings were. I'm going to have Matt go in the comments and tell everybody. I just know they were printed on a resin 3D printer. But check out this awesome 80s punk rock. Like, it's got like the visor glasses, the updo hair, a club, and is clearly wearing this like makeshift like sports pad armor. I absolutely love these. The water cellar himself, he's got this like super cool like tattered umbrella, and then he's wearing like clogs. You can see he's got his like raise me up out of the mud clogs, and just like a kind of like a sumo outfit, you know what I mean? Like, it's hot out, he doesn't want to wear very much, he's got his guards take care of him, and it really accurately captures that piece of art from Rogue Trader. The other guard is kind of more like relaxed, but that same sort of like updo hair, visor, like hive brat 80s nostalgia look, and just super well sculpted, like, and exactly fitting with like a Rogue Trader vibe. So I'm pumped to paint these and add them to the Rogue Trader collection as like sort of kind of just street people, you know what I mean? People like on the streets, they'll be my thugs, they'll be the guys that show up kind of unannounced. And then there's a pile more that are sort of like Rogue Trader inspired. This, which is this awesome kind of like, I don't know, waster with like this cool helmet. There's a very like, there's a video game that kind of looked like this, and a movie too. But they were also kind of like who were they? They were in the Solo movie. There was kind of like the rebels in the Solo movie that were kind of dressed like this with the crazy headdresses and stuff like that. There's I'm going to use him as a bounty hunter. Look at this guy. Look at how awesome he is. He's some kind of weird alien, but he's got this like wicked gas mask head, double guns, like 2 fingers in his hand. There's this bird alien, which I love. Check him out. Check out how cool he is. He's got kind of like a rebreather, and he's just kind of like, he's like a merchant or something like that almost. Super cool. There's this kind of rifleman, kind of like an Imperial Army guy. Again, he's got a gas mask and just kind of like a shotgun. And then Blunderbuss Man with some handlebar mustaches, kind of a bounty hunter type. And then this dude, the Cosmonaut. I love him. He's wearing like a spacesuit. He's just got like 2 ray guns. Just very cool, like classic kind of Rogue Trader style sculpts. They're chunky, they're fun, like they're just different. And like I'm gonna paint them for my Stargrave campaign and all my Rogue Trader stuff. I'm pumped to paint these. They're super cool. And this is what attracted me to Matt's sculpting initially. He also did this little shrine, little objective marker style dealie. So that was cool. It's kind of like the Imperial Shrine from the old Sisters of Battle army deal from the 90s, but has like just like a pile of skulls in it, which is cool. It'll be a handy little like drop box for campaigns and stuff. And then he also did some classic inspired orcs. So these are like 80s and 90s style orcs, almost Tolkien orcs if you look at them, with their pod helmets and like kind of almost like Roman shields. I love these. But he just kind of does what he feels like. He just does cool, like throwbacky inspired stuff. And I just based these up too because I want to paint them up as kind of fantasy bad guys. Look at how cool they are. And out in my fantasy collection. He's got a big hero for them too. I was afraid to take this guy off the supports because I'm bad at this stuff. But there's a big hero as well with a Morning Star. It's really nicely supported. And then he's also got this line of sort of like dark inspo. He's got some shields for the orcs as well, actually, just spare shields. He's got this line of sort of trench war, dark black powder stuff too. And you can see here, he's got like an axe trench. He's got like an axe bayonet on his rifle. Sort of Age of Black Powder. And I'm afraid bits will break off, so I haven't taken them out of the bag yet until I mount them on bases. You can see there he's got his bayonet. And then he also has, if you want to like dress up other plastics, kind of heads do the same. So there's about a dozen heads in here that I could use with like Perry plastics to give that kind of like dark black powder vibe to things. Right? Different heads. Backpacks as well. Do the same. And then he's got the same orcs in 10 mil, like War Master scale, and some kind of character models as well. Check this guy out. He's a trench war, like almost like a little Napoleon. And he's just got some weird dark stuff too. There's a standard bearer for them, but it's like carrying a horse's head. Look at how cool that is. Dude's underneath. And this is definitely that like 28 inspired, like dark fantasy style stuff. This reminds me of, oh geez, what was it called? The Ritual. There's a movie with like some backpackers hiking through Europe and some bad things happen. And like a cool little cherub. Look at this guy. Just a little weird dark cherub. Little cherub monster. So yeah, like it's awesome because it's just, for a guy like me who likes doing tons of skirmish games and just having random cool figures, this is amazing. And Matt's done an amazing job, Knucklebones Miniatures, of just like capturing a whole bunch of different genres, a whole bunch of different types of models. And of course, if you back him on Patreon, you can download the STLs and you can print as many as you like. But he was kind of to print these for me. And again, I'll have him jump in the comments and actually give you the details on that because I don't know jack about that stuff. I know about miniatures, but 3D printing is not yet the thing I've gotten into. I probably should. It's probably the future. I should just get with it or be left behind. But I'm so pumped to paint these and add in my collection for Stargrave and to start trying out this stuff for the dark black powder stuff too when Sean releases Sludge. And yeah, there's just tons of cool projects on the go, and Matt's stuff is perfect for a lot of them.
So you got a look at Knucklebones Miniatures, super cool and eclectic range of like random like Rogue Trader inspired sculpts and Dark 28 stuff and dark black powder stuff and dark fantasy stuff. Super cool, super talented. I'm gonna link it all below so you can check it out. I do know of a few other, like, I mean, there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these Patreons out there for people doing 3D sculpting. I do have a couple that are specific to games that I'm interested in, obviously. There's a guy called Extra Guy who does stuff for Gamma Wolves. Well, he does stuff for Giant Robots, but he posts in the Gamma Wolves group all the time. There was someone doing stuff, there was someone doing stuff in the last days group too, but I can't remember their name. If I remember it, I'll post in the comments too. But yeah, post in your comments some of your favorites that do this kind of thing. They do like a smorgasbord of like inspired, weird, different style sculpting, because obviously I use Patreon for what I do, and I feel like this is another great expression of that.
And these little companies that people are popping up with are just, Matt's in particular is passion driven. Obviously, he's super passionate about the 28 stuff and dark fantasy and Rogue Trader and stuff like that. And I feel like it really comes through. And so this is what Widgets and Wonders is for. So it's not a traditional like, hey, you can go buy this off a shelf, but there are tons of printing services out there. And if you do want to get into printing STLs and stuff, go find a creative type that does miniatures that you like to support. Oh, Sean was super into one. And I can't remember what it was called either. Sean, Metal King Studios, get in the comments. You painted 100 of these. They were like crazy dark fantasy monsters and stuff, and I thought they looked so cool, but I have no idea where they're from. Sean prints stuff all the time, obviously. Yeah, and let's check it out. But anyway, Knucklebones Miniatures, check them out below. If you're pumped about 28 and Rogue Trader stuff like I am, then give them a go. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below to get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Desperate Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.